Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about Kaby Lake and why it is the most disappointing architectural release I've ever seen in my not so very long life. The reason it is so disappointing is that it offers nearly no improvements over Skylake, its predecessor. So there is no reason for professionals to pick it up because it offers nearly no new features except two, which I'm gonna get to. And for the average consumer, it's pointless. There's no reason. Even if you have a CPU from 2013, which would be the Ivy Bridge CPUs, there's really no need to upgrade it either, because Intel's development has been so slow. So what I'm talking about is recently Paul's Hardware did some benchmarks of the i5 7600K and the i7 7700K, which is the new Kaby Lake CPUs, against their competitors because they perform similarly to the i5 and i7 Skylake variants. Now these benchmarks you're looking at here is at the same clocks. Every single CPU is overclocked to 4.6 gigahertz. So they're running at the same speed, and you can see that they perform the same, and you might think, well, that's not so strange, they're running at the same speed, of course they're going to perform similarly. Well, no. Usually between generations you have what's called an IPC improvement, instructions per clock. And what it basically means is that per clock, a given processor from a higher architecture performs better than the last. You could see this very obviously with, say you took an i7 2700K and compared it against a top-of-the-line CPU from Intel 3 years earlier, which would be the Core 2 Dual Quad cores. And you would clock them at the same speeds, you would see that the i7 kicked the snot out of the Core 2 Duo. So this is really disappointing to see that there is virtually no IPC improvements. You can see that the Kaby Lakes perform just a smidgen better. Just tiny hairwidths better, but this is not worth it. This is not worth a new CPU. And Skylake wasn't that much better than Haswell, which wasn't very much better than Ivy Bridge, which wasn't that much better than Sandy Bridge. You have to go all the way back to Clarkdale or something. A very old architecture before we saw a significant IPC improvement. So what are the advantages of Kaby Lake? Well, the processor is not better, but the platform is. And there are mainly two improvements that are worth talking about. One is the storage. Kaby Lake supports more high bandwidth storage, PCI storage, which is insanely fast storage. It's also insanely expensive. But hopefully the prices will come down now that it's more available. The second thing is memory encryption, if I remember it correctly. It's a technology called Optane. I'm quite a bit fuzzy on exactly what it does, but from the sounds of it, it's going to improve both speed, communication, and security between the processor and the memory, which will be interesting to see in action, but we don't have numbers on it yet. So yeah, I consider the Kaby Lake a huge disappointment. A huge disappointment. And that's basically all I had to say on it. I hope that the Zen architecture from AMD will kick the snot out of Kaby Lake because we need at least something interesting. But that's all I had to say on the matter. Thank you for listening.